Hi everyone, welcome back to Raising the Nuts. Today's episode will be part 2 of the trip that I took to Chicago with my dad. You guys need to know you weren't in the first one of that. You know that?
What?
You missed an episode. You weren't in the last episode. I know, everyone was really hoping that you would be in it, and they were sad.
I'm here!
And she's here now. But before we get into that episode, we actually have a little bit of mail to open up first.
Yeah, I'm going to open up.
You're going to open it up? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me... You got it? Okay. All right, what do we got?
It's a ginormous shirt from... what do you think it's from?
I don't know. Who do you think it's from?
And Doug Polk?
No, not Doug
No,
Polk.
what's his name? I know.
Who? Who's it from?
Andrew Mimi.
Who is it from?
Andrew Mimi.
That's right. Look at that.
Oh, wow, it's really
All
dark.
right. It's got the favorable pocket tee on the back. Why are you hitting it?
Because we hate it.
No. Okay.
Just kidding. Because we love it.
All right. Cam's got the shirt on. I don't think you can wear this on a regular basis. This is my shirt.
No, it's my shirt.
So the next order of business before we get into the actual Chicago trip is to reveal the results of the hand that I posted in the last video. If you didn't see that hand, go back to the last video. It's the third hand, I think, in the video. The flop had come 9-7-7, and the pre-flop 3-better had bet $500. Under the gun player called, and my friend to my right had shipped it all in for about $1,700. And big blind folded, and it was back on the under gun. And I asked you guys in the comments what you guys thought each player had and what the under gun player should do. It was amazing how many of you said that my buddy to my right would have 7-deuce or 7-deuce suited. As it turns out, you guys are all right. He had 7-deuce. The under gun player made the call. The board ran out with a 6, and then the river was a 9. And the under gun player turned over 9-10 to crack the 7-deuce on the river. My buddy, unfortunate for him to lose the pot, he ended up reloading after that. He took it in stride. And I think he said something about how that's what he gets for playing that hand. But it was a funny hand to watch, and just the whole thing, the kind of circus atmosphere of the hand going down. So thank you guys for responding in the comments with your guesses on the hands. And hopefully we'll do something like this again in the future. I also do have a bonus hand from that Parks 10-10 session I played that I forgot to include while I was in Chicago. So I wanted to share that one with you. The hand happened against another friend of mine named Eddie, who I actually got to talk with while we were waiting for seats for about an hour, catch up with him a little bit, talk about dad life and things like that, so that was fun to catch up with him. The hand came up. I had been playing a lot of hands in the session early, and the player to my right had limped in. I made it $60 with pocket queens, and Eddie was on the button and put in the 3-bet to 200. Folds back to me. I make the call. Obviously, I can consider a 4-bet, but we were about 3,000 deep to start the hand, I think, so I just make the call. The flop comes down king 3-3 with 2 spades, and I check over to Eddie, and he makes a bet of $150, down betting. Easy call for me to continue. Obviously, I'm going to be beat here by aces and ace-king some of the time, but we have a pretty good hand to continue with, so I go ahead and make the call. Turn was an offsuit 7. I checked it over to him, and he kept betting. He bet $350. Not the best situation for me, but I think I still have to continue. I don't have a spade in my hand, so definitely a good argument for calling, as he can definitely have some queen-high flush draws or hands like ace-queen of spades. So I'll go ahead and put in the call. River's the 4 of spades, so now we don't beat much of anything at all. And I go ahead and check it over to him. He gives it a long thought and ultimately checks back. I show my hand, and we're good. All right, so finally, let's get into part 2 of the trip to Chicago and pick up where we left off. All right, so we're here at Murphy's Bleachers right outside of Wrigley, checking out some memorabilia from the Cubs. We just had some amazing pizza at Aurelio's.
The best.
Best, incredible pizza. This atmosphere is pretty awesome. What do you think?
Oh man, it's just like so much history. Just like I can just feel baseball right here, man. It's just awesome. And love you, man. This is such a great time.
This is pretty awesome. So we have seats tonight, I think on the third base side for the game. and then have seats on the first base side for tomorrow's game. So we'll show some footage of the game and then go from there.
Go Phils.
Yeah. That just got really loud. We made it here to Wrigley. Ridiculous environment here, and we did this. We got. I lost it. I lost the ball. We're here at Wrigley Field. Incredible environment. We caught a baseball. Not really caught. Picked it up. I tried to dodge, jump out of the way behind him.
And he almost hit me in the head, apparently.
And I happened to grab it off the field, off the.
Still counts.
Yeah, it counts. It counts. What do you think so far of the atmosphere of Wrigley?
Oh man, this is just amazing, man. I'll tell you what. There's just what a great ballpark, and man, I'll tell you what. I'm overwhelmed. This is so cool, and I can't wait for the game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a good time.
It's awesome.
Great day.
You can feel the history in here. It's just such a
definitely.
cool vibe in here. So
I feel a lot of love here.
A lot of love.
Yeah, a lot of love.
All right. So we're here at Kingston Mines. It's pretty awesome. Two different sides of the bar, two different bands playing at once. Not at once, I guess. Two different bands playing, alternating. And pretty cool spot. About to get some ribs and some sweet potato fries. Listen to some good music. This lighting's not very good, but it is what it is. Amazing time last night at Kingston Mines. We finished up there pretty late, and when I got home, went to bed and had to get up super early for you guys so I could go out to Horseshoe Hammond, play some poker, because we got to get some poker in on this trip. So heading there now, about 7:30 in the morning. Not a lot of sleep, but we got to get some hands in for the vlog. I mean, this is a poker vlog after all, right? All right, so here down at the river, at the LaSalle Street Bridge. Today, went down to Horseshoe Hammond, so we're going to talk about that session in a second. After that, we went to the second Phillies-Cubs game of the trip. Phillies won today, so that was cool. After that, went back, hung out at the hotel for a little bit, and just checked out a pretty cool rooftop bar called, what was it called? Victory? Joy? No, not Victory. I keep saying Victory. Joy, what the hell was the name of the place? I don't know what the place is called, whatever. So, got to get into some of the hands that I played in this session. Never been to Horseshoe Hammond before. It was about a 30 to 40 minute ride away from the city. It was in the middle of nowhere. I heard that before, but got there around 8:45 in the morning and had about an hour to play. So obviously we're going to do the play every hand challenge. If you guys haven't seen the videos before, the idea is I have to play every hand dealt in unless there's a 3-bet or an all-in in front of me. If you haven't seen the videos before, I'll post a link below to the playlist. You can check out all those videos. The idea is to win money for charity, and coming to the challenge, I'll update where I was at after 5 sessions. This was the 6th time we've done the play every hand challenge. So I knew I had about an hour to play. I ended up playing 24 hands total. So let's get into some of those hands. First hand of note that came up, I limp in with 6-7 suited, 6-7 of diamonds, and we take the flop 7 ways. The flop comes down king 5-2 with 2 diamonds. I decided to check it. I could definitely bet here, but I decided to check. Checks over to the button, who bets $10. Folds back to me, I make the call. The turn is the 3 of diamonds, so we make the flush right on the turn. Obviously a good card for us. And I check it over to her. She bets $12, and she only has $40 behind, so I just go ahead and put her all in. She makes the call pretty quickly. The river card comes the 9 of diamonds. Obviously not a good card for me, but it turns out it didn't matter because she already had ace 5 of diamonds and start out stuck in this game. So I end up losing about the first 15 hands I played, and I'll actually post, I wrote down notes for every hand that I played in this session, and I can post them down below, either in the comment section, or I'll write a little blog post up with each hand described if you guys want to look and see all the hands. But finally, after about 15 hands, there's 3 or 4 limpers, gets to me in the big blind. I have ace jack offsuit, and I make it $20, and everybody folds, so we finally take a pot down. And got us some good momentum for the next few hands. So the undergun player opens to $10 in this next hand. I call in middle position with 9-6 offsuit, and the button makes the call. We actually take this flop 3 ways. Most of the pots at this table were 5 or 6 or 7 ways, which made it very difficult because I had a lot of bad hands, and it was very difficult for me to win any pot. So this one was 3 ways, and the flop came down 8-6-3 with 2 diamonds, which was actually a decent flop for me here. The opener decides to check, and I actually decided to check it over to the player on the button, and he checks back as well. I actually like betting in my spot, but I decided to check in the moment. The turn was the queen of diamonds, so the flush gets there, and the early position player checks. I also decided to check, and when it gets to the player on the button, he does a little diamond check of his cards, which tends to be a tell that this player does not have a flush already, and likely doesn't have a pair, because if he makes a pair on the turn, he's probably not going to have to recheck too often. He might be checking for a diamond with the pair, but most of the time they're just checking to see if they have a flush draw. And he goes ahead and bet $7. The opener calls, and I decide to call as well. The river card's an offsuit 3, so that doesn't really change much at all, and we both check it over to the player on the button, who puts out about $25. The other gun player folds, and I decide to make the call going with the read that my opponent had a diamond in his hand and missed the flush draw. I make the call, the opponent declares ace high, and we take this one down. So that was actually all that happened as far as big hands went. I had a few more hands where I limped in towards the end, and after 24 hands it was time to go. And I ended up getting into the game for $300, cashing out for $210 for a $90 loss in the 24 hands, like I said, that I played. But it was a pretty cool experience. Obviously, the poker room was very quiet that early in the morning. There was only 2 games going. And I'm sorry that I couldn't get in more hands for you guys, but I wanted to get some poker in while we were here. I mean, I took a 40-minute Uber there and a 40-minute Uber back just to get some hands in. A few other things here. At the Phillies game, we almost had a ball come right towards us. Scott Kingery hit a double down the line. We were sitting right on the right field line, and the ball bounced and hit against my ear, and I'll actually show you guys the video here from the TV where you see me kind of avoid the ball like that. But it's been a great time here so far in Chicago. Going over to dinner right now, actually at Chicago Cut, which is right here next to the water, and then going to wrap up. So we had a delicious meal at Chicago Cut, and then we headed over to another blues club. It was called Blue Chicago. Craziest thing happened while we were there. We happened to run into one of my dad's oldest friends. Just happened to be in Chicago at the same time. My dad hadn't seen him in a few months, and it was pretty cool to hang out with him there and listen to some good music. So had an early morning flight out, and just an amazing trip. And this trip reminded me of how fortunate I am to be able to play poker for a living and be able to do something like this with my dad and just take off, a couple days during the week, and how lucky I am to have Jody at home helping out with the kids and everything. And the trip was just a lot of fun, and it was just a great experience. We packed a lot into those 48 hours that we were there, and Chicago is a great city. We happened to catch the two nicest days in Chicago in the last few years apparently. But overall, just a really fun trip. And I'm happy to be able to make this vlog, and so that my dad can have this to save the memories of this trip. Thank you guys as always for watching Raising the Nuts. Cam?
Make sure you subscribe, like, comment down below, give us a big thumbs up on YouTube. Bye.
All right,
Peace out.
Hold on, before you leave. Next few episodes will have a little bit more of these guys in them. We're gonna get the part 2 of Andrew Helmuth out in the next few weeks before we leave for Vegas.